Hello and welcome to the KSW Painting Euro V8 Supercar Series Media Day for Season 5 of this series. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, and alongside me is Mark Babner and Sam Kumo. And we've got 3 races for you today. A super sprint, a 9-lap race to start us off, and I think it's an 11-lap race second race, and then a 26-lap third race. So probably about 20 minutes for this first race. And of course, it was an awesome championship finale. Michael Abdoka coming away with the championship. It was not easy for him whatsoever. I'm really looking forward to this season. It's there's just so many drivers who can win races and potentially challenge for the championship.
Absolutely. Hello everybody and welcome. Sam, I absolutely agree with you. I was actually excited this morning when I woke up thinking about today. Yes, there are no points on offer, but we are going to have the first glimpse of what promises to be an amazing season. And maybe at the end of this 3-race event, we will have a picture that's a little bit clearer about what are the power rankings entering the season proper, which starts next Saturday at Silverstone Grand Prix circuit. So I really can't wait for tonight.
Yeah, great to see a couple of names. Of course, we get a rough idea. Of course, your friend Michele Ricci should be doing the season. I don't know if he's doing the whole season, but should at least be on and off. He'll be super competitive. But also Victor Tanaka, I think season 2 champion, I think. He's back. Of course, we've got season 1 champion Tony Klusman. We've got the season 4 champion Michael Abdoka. Johnny Brandon should be doing the entire season. We've got Josh Thompson, competitive radicals driver, and plenty of others as well. Nicole Foggy should be competitive. It's so close up there. And of course, you were saying, Marco, how we could get an idea of the pecking order. This race doesn't count towards any championship points, of course, but these drivers will really want to get a good race under their belts and have a bit of confidence going into the proper season.
Yeah, we know these cars are unique and very difficult, and not all the drivers involved today participated in the Enduro. So for a lot of these drivers, today is a good opportunity to get back into the rhythm, to get familiar again with the car and get ready and in shape for next week. So I think this is a very good idea. It also offers the drivers a chance to race without pressure, just putting on a show, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have an exciting day ahead of us. Also, I really like the 3-race format with the 3 different race lengths. So we're going to showcase 3 of the 4 race lengths available to the championship: Super Sprint, Sprint and Feature. And of course, the only one missing for obvious reason is the Endurance, which we will have 2 at and of course at Mount Panorama later in the year. First 2 races, Sam, no pit stop is expected, but the 3rd race will have, I think, a mandatory stop, so a little bit of strategy also will come into play.
Yeah, should be an awesome day of racing. And of course, you were talking earlier, you mentioned how the endurance event, and of course we saw, oh Jesus, I can't even remember their name, but GXB Racing, I think I've got that right. Of course, taking the victory ahead of Never Quit Racing. It was so close though, wasn't it? Tony Klusman and Chris Jackson really gave Nicole Foggy and Johnny Brandon a good run for their money. And those 4 drivers, they're not going to be the only drivers who will be fighting for the title, of course, but they've kind of shown themselves to be absolutely relentless, because those 4 drivers were pretty much error-free for the entire kind of 4-hour event.
Yes, the only problem that happened to Tony Klusman's team is that they loaded the wrong setup before the start of the race, so they had to do the entire race with the wrong setup and still managed to go and get competitive and get very close to the opposition at the top of the pack. So that was interesting. Of course, that was a non-championship race as well, because the Enduros will be individual races, 1 driver per car in the championship, again for obvious reason, a little bit shorter. But we saw, everybody who loves this car should really give a go at this championship, because we know, especially in Europe, it's tough to find official races for the V8s in the official series because of time zones and because it's difficult to have proper participation in a car that you really need to love it. So if you are from Europe or from the rest of the world for that matter, I really suggest you to give a shot at this championship, and today we will hopefully show you why this is true, because you see some amazing racing all over the pack. We have the reverse grids, so everybody has a chance in race 2 and race 3 to start in the front and maybe defend and get to the finish line in a good position. So qualifying is about to end, and we will finally start the first race of the season.
Yes, really looking forward to this one.
Can you tell I'm excited?
Oh yes, and I'm so excited as well. It's a great joy to commentate on this series once again. And Alexander Galahov, currently the pole sitter, and I think qualifying has just come to an end, although they can finish their lap times. An interesting grid already. And of course, Evdoka was the champion last year, or last season, sorry. And it was kind of his consistency, wasn't it, Marco? And his reverse race kind of results. I think he won 5 races across the season compared to Klusman's 6 and Brandon's 8. But in the end, he got it quite comfortably, about 100 points clear, which isn't a massive margin. But he was just so relentless, wasn't he? And pretty much didn't have a bad result for the entire season. And it's going to be difficult to keep that up this season, isn't it?
Yeah, because you need to be good in traffic in the reverse grids, and you need to be a little bit lucky. We saw in the final meeting of the season, you are right, saying that Evdoka won the championship by a comfortable margin. But for example, he was involved in a crash in the second of the 3 races we had at Oran Park to finish the season. But he didn't have a lot of damage. He was very, very fast and managed to climb the rank and finish in a respectable position, locking up the champion. For example, the same wasn't true for his rival Johnny Brandon. Was involved in a crash, heavy damage, and that was his season. So you need skill, you need luck, and you need to maximize, as I always say, even in other series, the first race, because this is the only race where you have qualifying. So you need to qualify well and put on some good points in the bank when you start up front, and then go and race with the best racecraft you have in the second and third race when we have the triple header, or the second race when we have the double header.
Yeah, because Johnny Brandon, unfortunately, isn't here today. He's got back issues. So, hopefully he'll be back with us soon. That was a terrible pun. And I just got 30 more seconds in this session before we can go through the grid. But Galahov, currently on pole position, Marco. And I haven't seen too much of Alexander. I think I've raced against him a little bit, and I think we saw him a little bit last season as well. But, what a drive that is. And I think Montreal is one of those circuits, as we've seen in the World Championship Grand Prix series, where if you're a specialist around here, you can really kind of unlock that extra quarter of a second.
Yeah, and these cars are perfect for this track, I think. High curves, you can run through the chicanes as the qualifying is over, so I think we can finally have the starting.
Yes, and it's Alexander Galahov on pole position, followed by Chris Jackson in second. Victor Tanaka, great to see him back in third. Michael Evdoka, the Season 4 champion, in fourth. Nicole Foggy, watch out for him in fifth. Dominic Sawicki, he's only done 1 round in the past. He's right up there in sixth. Tony Klusman, Season 1 champion, in seventh. Raul Ruiz in eighth, followed by Richard Warmingham, Jose Borges, Anthony Woodward, Clyde Whiting, Lane O'Connor, Samuel Busen, Guy Croft, Dominic Sori, Bill Switzer, Michael Frost, Michael Mueller, Erwin Woodstrup, Maciej Kuziak, David Fielder, Josh Thompson, Jamie McKnight, Dave Jansen, JP Boosland, Ben Galit, GTL, I think that's a mistake there, and Richard Dempsey, Greg Branch rounds out the field. I think a couple of those final few results may have been a little bit jumbled up by myself, but we are just ordering up now. Still got quite a few more drives to get on the grid, but do you think they're going to be well behaved for this one, Marco? We often see this first race, whilst it's in qualifying order, relatively civil, and then the next 2 races will be a little bit carnage, I think. But around such a tight, twisted circle like this, it's going to be difficult to keep it out of the walls.
I'm expecting some trouble at the chicanes. First race of the season and some new drivers and no points on offer, so you can risk a little bit more. So I'm expecting fireworks right from the start.
Yeah, you can see great field of drivers out there, and season 5 of the championship. Maybe not a championship race this, but it's still very much within the calendar. It'll be Alexander Galahov from pole position. They're about to rev up the engines. Here we go. It's Alexander Galahov from the pole, and we are away. It's a decent start from Galahov. Stays ahead of Jackson, although Jackson actually maybe pulling ahead just on the outside. Can he swoop around here? You'll have the inside for the next corner. And Jackson just about pulls ahead, I think, of Docker into third. So that entire row seemed to get a little bit of a slow start. And seemingly pretty clean down the field. Tane Klusman's got up 2 positions. And we got Michael Docker around. He gained 1 position.
He's not the only one in the wall. There's another car, you see, behind the tree. It's Chris Jackson.
Oh wow, yeah. Oh, so those two got to carry on going so they can get a high position for the reverse grid later on. But oh Jesus, so something must have happened between the drivers in second and third. So Docker, good start from 4th, moved up into 3rd, and he tried to get the inside here. This is what can happen, and I hit Galahov and also Jackson, and well, you'll be regretting that, Docker. But it's just, you know, those brakes on the first couple of laps, Marco. It can be so difficult to control these cars. And Docker found it there.
Yeah, absolutely. This corner is very, very difficult. We see always in Formula 1 something happening in that particular part of the track in the first lap, because it tightens and you go a little bit down the hill, so it's difficult to stop the car, especially a V8 Supercar. And Galahov now has a clear lead of 2.2 seconds as Michael Frost is in defense as well.
Yeah, Raul Ruiz is up 6 positions from 8th on the grid. Absolutely incredible. That entire even side of the grid actually got an awesome start.
Oh, and a slow down for the leader.
That can cost you so much, Galahov. And in 1 lap, Raul Ruiz has gone from 8th to 1st. What a start for him. That is absolutely incredible from him. He got past Tanaka midway through that last lap, and Tanaka very nearly losing it. Tanaka could come back here. This isn't an overtaking opportunity, although Tanaka's going to make it maybe, and he can just about slot his way through. Raul just left himself a little bit vulnerable there, and next up is Tane Klusman, up 4 positions himself. Oh, and Tanaka's so wide there, but what an incredible start to this race, Marco.
Absolutely. Now a little bit wide for car 126, and we see Klusterman try to take advantage on the outside, going to the chicane. Maybe has even a better exit from the corner, so he will be able to grab the position before the braking area, and that's what happens. So it's a good pass from Tony Klusterman, and now he's going to try to catch his teammate in front of him.
Yeah, he's got actually he's only got about a second to catch. Actually, this is very possible for Klusman, and yeah, not too far behind. So dropping down the field then was Galahov. He's dropped down to 8th, so from a comfortable lead, he's down to 8th. And oh, must be so frustrating. A little bit side by side just ahead. I think that's Borges and Foggy, is it? And Sawicki just ahead of Galahov as well. Going to be side by side between these two. Borges, I think, is he trying to go for the move against Foggy? And he's through there, but Foggy lost the rear under braking. And he made a little bit of contact. He's going to make a little bit more contact, I think, to Sawicki. Galahov was a little bit off in the background. And who's that dropping down? Israel Ruiz. So Ruiz goes from, what, 8th to 1st, back down to 8th again. Oh my goodness.
And we know that the first 2 laps, the slowdowns are very, very punishing. So, because basically you get a slowdown compared to the average lap, and the first 2 laps, the algorithm calculating it is a little bit wonky. So you get penalized hard for a slowdown in the first 2 laps, and we saw the 2 leaders basically get... be careful there! Right whiting. Engine is broken. He will try to go to the pits for his fast repair in order to... Okay, I spoke too soon. I think that David Fielder was not expecting a slow car in that part of the track. You have the wall, you can't see the exit of the corner. That was a very, very unfortunate situation for them both.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, you can see the wall's so close there, and that's the feature of this circuit. And I think Klusman's going to the lead, past Tanaka there, side by side, I think, currently. And here they are. So he must have gone for the move, I think, at the hairpin, and they are side by side, heading down the straight, parallel to the rowing, to the rowing events at the Olympics a few years ago, and they crashed into each other, the two teammates. Klusman has carried on, but he's got a massive slowdown, and for the third time in 3 laps, we're going to have the leader lose out because of a slowdown at that final chicane, and through into the lead goes Richard Warmingham from 9th on the grid. This is incredible, and he's up into the lead now. Oh, and we've got a massive crash.
Klusterman.
Oh, that was Sawicki, was it? He hit Klusman, I think.
What is going on today?
Well, glad this isn't a... Well, I'm disappointed that this isn't a championship event, but my goodness.
It must be the proximity to the USA, and I love NASCAR, and this is looking like one of those very, very late season NASCAR races during the chase where everybody wants to gain access to the postseason and to get good points, and you see a lot of battling on the track. On board with Galahov, now he's in 7th position. He was the leader at one point. Being in the lead usually spells disaster today in this first race.
Yeah, I think so. Of course, Foggy's got past Warmingham, so those two are teammates, I think. And I didn't actually see the move, but Foggy is into the lead according to the timing screen, and surely he's not going to lose it now. He has not won a race, I think, in this series ever before. He only joined at the latter end of last season. They nearly won the Suzuka round, but strategy, kind of half mistake, cost him there. But he's in the lead right now, ahead of Richard Warmingham. And this was Klusterman, was it? Oh, sorry, it's the slide. But yeah, Klusterman still in P10 currently, so plenty of instance for him. But Foggy now into the lead, and we have got the leader not losing the lead, going through that final chicane. So Wiki's up into 3rd, Galahov back up into 4th, and JP Busalan up from 23rd to 8th.
Yeah, that's what's staying out of trouble, although his car looks second-hand from cameras, so maybe he shouldn't say out of trouble, but yeah. We see that the damage to the back of the car usually is not that bad, even though it looks terrible, but you are still able to finish the race. Oh, he's in the fence! Oh man.
Oh, well done, Marco. Well done. You totally screwed him over there, haven't you? And yeah, he's seemingly still going out there, okay, but yeah, he's going to be under pressure from the cars behind. So Wiki under pressure from Galahov. Galahov looking to the inside now, going into the hairpin. So Wiki has done brilliantly at making his way through the field so far, but maybe a little bit of revenge from Galahov, and there he goes through. Remember, was way out from the lead about halfway through the first lap, managed to lose it, but he is now back up into the P4.
Another look by Sawicki on the outside, going to the chicane, you know, 2 into 1 doesn't go there, and usually one of the two guys has to take slow down, point in case.
I think, yeah, that is going to be a slowdown, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep.
So now it's Tanaka in P4, and amazingly, because basically went into the pits after the contact with Klusterman, managed to turn it around, get back on the track, and now he's in P4. So yeah. Galahov is in P3, Nicole Foggy and Richard Warmingham are 1 and 2, and Galahov now is in P2.
What's happened to Foggy? He's managed to lose the lead, Foggy. Oh my goodness. This is insane. And Foggy, from establishing a comfortable lead, has gifted it back to his own teammate Richard Warmingham, and he's gifted 2nd position, but not for very long. And just slowing down there was Galahov. So Galahov up into 2nd place. I don't know what happened to Nicole Foggy. I see he's got 1 off track, so it may have had something to do with that. His car seems to not have too much damage, but he's managed to lose the lead, and Richard warming up. I don't think he's ever won a round in this series before. And he's looking very strong. Here comes Foggy to the outside. Will he go for the move straight away, or will he just try to get a good, strong exit? They are side by side heading into the hairpin. I don't think he's going to be able to do too much around the outside here. He's going to try it. And, oh, not a great exit from Galahov, and this is just allowing warming him to romp off into the distance.
Yeah, and now also Tanaka is back in the party. So it's going to be a 3-way battle, possibly a 4-way battle for P2.
And to the outside goes Nicole Foggy, trying to get past Galahov. He's late on the brakes. Galahov isn't going to give this one easily. And, oh, they both have to cross the chicane, I think. And I think going straight through, I think will be Tanaka, surely. And, yeah, I think Tanaka's right on the tail of Galahov now. And can he get through? No, I think Galahov maybe got away with that one. So Galahov remains in P2, and Foggy's dropped that down to P6, so he dropped about 5 positions in a single lap. And now Jose Borges is up into the top 5.
Wow, what an amazing race. Fireworks from the beginning. There is not a single car without damage, I think, throughout the whole field. Thought this was going to be good training towards Detroit, which we're going to have in the season later.
Yeah.
They are similar tracks, not identical, but you know, the close walls, the bumps. Yeah, I hope these drivers will learn from this experience, because those walls are even more unforgiving than these ones in Montreal.
Yeah, absolutely. Going to be a massive challenge to see the drivers. Here comes Tanaka as well. He's got a challenge to get past Galahov, but he's going to go for it. Galahov around the outside. Tanaka was so tight on the apex, and I think he's going to have a worse exit. Wheel spin on the exit, so Wiki can't really get close enough to challenge. Borges still under pressure from Foggy, but here comes Galahov under pressure again from Tanaka. Is Tanaka close enough? I don't think so. And if anything, I think Galahov might have a little bit less aero damage. Still quite a lot, but a little bit less than his rival. And yeah, just about holds on for now. So Wiki's got the cleanest car, I think, and he could be close. But even closer is Tanaka, going again on Galahov, warming him. It's now 3.5 seconds out in the lead, but to the outside goes Tanaka. Round he goes. Can Suzuki get involved in this one? Is there going to be contact between the two of them? I think Suzuki's going to gain 1 position, maybe. He's going to gain 2, in fact, because they made contact, somehow didn't hit the wall. And now Dominic Suzuki moves up into P2. And they're all in the background. And they've into the wall.
There's been a crash. I heard someone hit the wall in the back. Yeah, it's Jose Borges.
Yeah. Driving so well was Borges.
See the replay now. Board with Nicole Foggy. Let's see what happened here. Oh! Hit the wall very hard, basically while he was in mid-air. Oh, there's a car in the wall as well. That was Tanaka.
Yeah, so Tanaka lost out as well. So, yeah. No one wants to get a podium today, clearly. Like, it doesn't count to any points, but you may as well take it, guys, instead of just crashing. And, yeah, Raul Ruiz now, back up into P6. He's going to be into he's in, yeah, P6. He's going to be up into P5, I think, any moment now. Does mean that JP Busalan, who have hit the wall, is up into P8. He was in P7, just got overtaken by Tony Kliesman, who will be hunting these guys down very quickly, although he is 9 seconds behind.
And in the meantime, I think that the white flag is in the air among all the chaos, and sadly this race is almost over, with Birmingham with a comfortable lead, but battles all over the field in this 9-lap super sprint.
Yeah, Birmingham 4 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, with Suzuki second somehow, Foggy in third. He's just had so many instances, Nicole Foggy. Absolutely incredible. JP Busalan lost out to Tony Kliesman, as I said. Kliesman, of course, isn't going to catch up to Ruiz, although he is closing in very, very quickly, and going wide like that isn't going to help his cause whatsoever. Maybe Busalan can fight back here. Remember, won a race at Lime Rock last season. Probably the biggest upset of the season. Was a superb drive in the super sprints, and he's done well in this super sprint as well. Ruiz, though, going past Tanaka, Tanaka coming back at Ruiz, I think. And there he goes. So back up into the top 5 goes Tanaka. Had a couple of slowdowns and a couple of incidents. I think Ruiz may have hit the wall as well, because all of a sudden he's struggling quite a bit up there. Foggy closing in on Sawicki, but no one is closing in on Richard Warmingham. Being absolutely superb from him. The one clean car, I think, out on the field. He's just driven through the chaos. And Richard Warmingham doesn't even have to push around the final chicane. He's driven this race to absolute perfection. He's going to take the victory comfortably against his rivals. And he's got the Media Day first race of the evening under his belt. Dominic Sawicki only beat Nicole Foggy by about 1/10 of a second across the line. And Alexander Galahov, I think, will finish in 4th with Tanaka and Ruiz in 5th and 6th, respectively. But yeah, you talked earlier on, Marco, how maybe this would be an okay race. It would be difficult around a circuit like this, but with the slowdowns and the walls and the maybe not championship points being factored into this, the drivers went mad out there.
Yeah, they went, and this was only race 1. We are expecting more of the same in race 2 and 3. Again, race 2 a little bit longer, and race 3 even a bit more longer with the pit stop. So yeah, I was expecting fireworks, but not this many fireworks from the beginning of the first race. Amazing racing, and congratulations to Richard Warmingham for the victory.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant from Warmingham. And he will be very happy with that. Quarter of an hour it took to take home the victory from 9th on the grid. Absolutely superb. Dominic Sawicki finished in 2nd position. Remember, this is only his 2nd ever meeting Sawicki, so awesome job from him to finish in 2nd. Nicole Foggy ends up in 3rd after a lot of issues, only 3.5 seconds off the lead somehow. Alexander Galahov, the pole sitter, threw it away really on the first lap when he got a slowdown. He ends up in 4th, but still a good drive through the field. Victor Tanaka could have won it. He ends up in 5th. So too could Raul Ruiz. He was leading after the 2nd lap. He got a slowdown as well, finishes in 6th. Tony Klosterman ends up in 7th. He was involved in a collision early on. JP Boussalam, brilliant drive from him, 23rd to 8th. He was running as high as 7th at one point. Lane O'Connor finishes in 9th. Didn't really see much of him, but good drive from 13th on the grid. Anthony Woodward in 10th. Chris Jackson was involved in a spin early on with a collision with Michael Abdoka. He ends up in 11th from the front row of the grid. Samuel Buzin in 12th. There's Guy Croft, Maciej Kuziak in 14th. Michael Abdoka will be frustrated with that in 15th. Michael Mueller in 16th. David Fielder 17th, and then the drivers one lap down. Dominic Sori, Jose Borges, Erwin Woodstra, Clyde Whiting, and Michael Frost. And then Bill Switzer was 6 laps down. Ben Gielitz was 9 laps down. And Josh Thompson, I don't think took the start, nor did Jamie McKnight, Dave Jansen, Richard Dempsey, and Greg Branch. And Sam, I think we've got the reverse wheel for the 2nd race. Yeah, that does mean JP Boussalam will be on pole position. And last time he started on pole position, I think, was when he won the race at Lime Rock. So we'll wait and see how that is. Tony Klosterman in 2nd. Brilliant grid behind him. And me and Marco will see you back in about 20 minutes time for race 2 of the evening. Be sure not to miss it.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, will it be Tim Holgate? It's going to be Christopher DeMerrick at the line.
Welcome back to the media day of the KSW Painting Euro V8 Supercar Series, the media day for Season 5, and we just witnessed an incredible first race, full of incidents, and at the start of this race, JP Boostland will be leading the grid. Tony Klosterman starts in second position, Mel Ruiz in third, and Nicole Foggy fourth, and it's Dominic Suwocki in fifth, Richard Warmingham, race 1 winner, Lane O'Connor, Anthony Woodward, Chris Jackson, Samuel Buzan, Guy Croft, Maciej Kuziak, Michael Abdoka, Michael Muller, David Fielder, Dominic Sori, Jose Borges, Erwin Woodstra, Clyde Whiting, Michael Frost, Bill Switzer, Ben Galit, and that rounds out the 22 car field. Lost a few, Marco, but I still don't think that's all. And actually, we've already got away a little bit quick off the grid, and quick off the grid as well is JP Boostland. He's got an awesome start, and he stays ahead of Tony Klosterman, and Nicole Foggy gains up 1 position. It's not a good start for Raul Ruiz. Has already lost 3 positions, but Boostland away well because he won a race at Lime Rock last season. Can he back that up today? Raul Ruiz, dropped down 4 positions from 3rd to 7th, and Chris Jackson up 3 positions up into 6th, and we got an incident, and Raul Ruiz has had more issues, and he's into the wall, and that could be his chances over. 3rd on the grid, but he's fallen right to the back of the field. Not sure who he was involved in that one, but not the start that he needed, but an awesome start from JP Boostland.
Yeah, also I see some problem for Michael Abdoga. He's dropping fast, but I think that both Klosterman and Foggy will go for the pass as quick as possible, and Switzer is around as well, I think, yeah. So Klosterman and Foggy will try and go for the pass as quick as possible in order to get a gap on the other competitors. We see Sowicki in the back of Foggy, so it's a huge pack for the lead.
Awesome mixing up there.
Some contact, which is to be expected at the hairpin, and Jackson is sideways, getting the power down on the backstretch. Boostland is still in first position, probably will be at the end of the first lap.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't get a slowdown across this chicane. Let's see if any of them do. We saw lots of gyros picking it up. 3 leaders losing the lead because of that slowdown at the chicane, but Boostland, I think, managed to hold on, although he is under pressure. Going down into turn 1 to the outside goes Tony Klosterman, deep on the brakes. Can he get it stopped? No, he can't, although he might still lose the lead. No, Foggy couldn't quite get past Boostland. Now pressuring Klosterman is Sowicki. He dropped back a little bit, I think, down the back straight, but Sowicki now to the outside. Can he go a lot later on the brakes and go around the outside? And Foggy actually going for the lead already. He was not hanging back there, but I think he's going to have to back out still. Hung on to that position to Klosterman, and hanging on to this position is Boostland, but round the outside goes Nicole Foggy. This would be an awesome move if he can make it. That is unconventional, Marco, but he's pulled it off, and he's back into the race lead.
Yeah, and we know Boostland is a tough customer. He was elbows out for the entirety of this first half of the second lap. He has to yield to Foggy, and now we'll see if Klosterman will be able to make a move as well.
Of course, Foggy lost the race lead and potentially race victory due to a slowdown at the final chicane. We'll see if that happens to him again. Klosterman will be happy just to be in 3rd position, but he's going for 2nd, and they've made contact. JP Boostland and Tony Klosterman, and they're still making contact. The steering lock on these cars clearly not enough, and Sowicki now gets involved again. He fancies his chances at a 2nd position after getting a podium in the first race, and he's to the outside. JP Boostland just sitting behind. He was leading the race this time last lap, but he's far from that now. Klosterman holding on against Sowicki again, and JP's lost it, and he's
Thankfully he avoided the cars. Wow.
Well, didn't he?
So we have sorry Sam, a connection problem for Michael Abdoka. Too bad.
Yeah, if his bad luck is coming at this point in the season, I think, that'll be good fun.
The problem for him is that now he's not eligible for the reverse pole position, I think, because you have to be on the lead lap.
Yeah, so he'll start from the back, I think, in the next race, which is very frustrating for Michael. Good to see him back for the final race. He has actually had a couple of really unlucky weeks, and in the World GT Series and the BSI Grand Tour as well. But here comes Jackson trying to get past Warmium. Of course, Warmium won the first race just by driving through all the incidents, and straight through goes Jackson. He had a trouble first round, making contact with Evdoka in the second second corner, third corner, sorry. And yeah, he's rising his way through, but this is far from sorted, Marco.
Absolutely, and we see the first cars without the rear wing. So we know there's been some contact in the back of the pack here. We see Dominic Soiree and other drivers trying to make their way up. We are talking around the P12. Now is Ruiz on the outside of Soiree coming into the hairpin. 2 by 2 by 2.
Oh, and that's a good overtake, I think. Not quite. Kuziak just losing out there, but he nearly pulled it off. Big power side there after hitting the grass, and he's still all over the place down the straight.
Yeah, these cars don't like when you push the gas pedal and you want to do this as quick as possible when you're in a slow corner like the hairpin. They will make you pay for it.
Oh, and nearly round, and he is round
And he's
into, not quite into the World Champions, but close enough. It's going to cost him just as much time, I think. Borges there, and yeah, Borges is actually into the pit, so yeah, I think he really missed his braking zone. And there he is.
Klusterman, fastest lap of the race, 1:35.26. He is 1.8 seconds behind the leader Nicole Foggy. Sawicki is in third, and behind him is Chris Jackson and Richard Wormingham trying to make their way back to the podium. We have lap 4, and see on some of the cars, I just get this moment to say some of the cars have a prayers for Fred banner on them, and it is for Pete Bingham's father, who is sadly very ill at the moment, and we at Apex, we are all sending good vibes and good messages towards Pete's family and his father.
Yeah, absolutely. Full support for Pete's father. I think he's watched every broadcast of this season recently. So yeah, if you're listening along, yeah, we hope you the best of luck with your recovery. And there's
a guy with a slowdown is Foggy.
Oh, I can't believe it. He's lost it again, and through goes Tony Klusterman. So the starting in second position, Klusterman moves up into the lead now. Foggy could have won both races, but it's these mistakes from Foggy, which we didn't see at Road America, did we, Marco? It was Klusterman making the mistakes back then, but Foggy was absolutely resolute, but today he's yeah, just made a couple of mistakes.
Yeah, and that final corner seems to be very, very problematic for him, and it is for a lot of drivers. That corner and this corner here when we see the battle, because I'm surprised because Foggy, yeah, it's relatively new to the car, but not that new. We did some of the later rounds in the previous championships, so he must know that it's difficult to stop these cars, but still they can catch you by surprise times. Even the most experienced drivers make mistakes.
Yeah, definitely. And Sawicki now under pressure from Jackson. Jackson looking really strong out there, and if he can get this move done, Jackson, I think, Marco, he might be able to challenge the top two, especially if they start fighting, which, considering they're 6/10 between them currently, I think they will start fighting and lose each other time.
Yeah, I am expecting a good race from Chris Jackson. If he can make this pass on Sawicki, he will probably be able to go and fight for the lead. We see Foggy very, very close. Of course, you get a massive slipstream on the backstretch here, and if you're able to follow through the rest of the track. And there's a slowdown, I think.
Oh, no. It was just a different line, wasn't it? It does look weird from that angle, doesn't it?
I saw he lost a little bit of time there, Tony Klusterman. He lost like 0.3 of a second, so maybe he just had a bad exit. You know, we are so used to slowdowns the final corner for the leader. So apologies for that, and back to the battle for P3.
Yeah, we should really be pointing out when a driver doesn't get a slowdown and suddenly gains a load of time. But Sawicki's still under pressure now. Jackson, can he... Oh, the bit of a surprise attack. Kind of had half a chance there. Not really defensive whatsoever from Sawicki, taking quite a tight line. And here comes Jackson. Couldn't quite get the power down as he would have liked. And he's really close though. Really in the slipstream now. Will he pull out from underneath? It's a bit of a half move this easy. It's going to go for it. And, oh, he's lucky not to spin it. That was just very, very cautious, wasn't it, Marco? And he kind of needed to be a lot more committed on the brakes on the entry, because in the end it was only kind of a few meters before the apex that he really decided to go for the move.
Yeah. Both guys locked up there in the end. I was glad that there was no contact, and I'm sure this battle will begin once again as Fog is closing in half a second from Klusterman. Seems to be safe for the time being at the final chicane. Hard on the curb. It's beautiful to see these cars literally fly in the air for a couple of meters, if that, but always beautiful.
Yeah, and this is Klusman's got so much experience, hasn't he? He's I think he's won, is it 27 rounds in this series? So in the past 4 seasons, I think he's won 27 rounds or something. And I think the next best go is something like 12. And yeah, he really has got experience from this position. That was a spin then. And, oh wow! So Frost lost it then. So yeah, I think that was a replay, but yeah, Frost managed to lose it, and there was another car off as well. So I think that was Lane O'Connor as well.
Yeah, 2 separate spins at the exit of the 3rd chicane, as Sowicki has mirrors full of Chris Jackson, but Chris Jackson not yet made the decisive move.
Yeah, of course, Jackson was super competitive last season. Probably the most competitive driver, apart from maybe Doman Gantar. He didn't claim a race victory. But down the inside goes Jackson, and he should be well and truly ahead of Sawicki, although Sawicki should get a better exit, and he has done. So now, in the slipstream, can he go to the outside, or will Jackson open up the inside a little bit? He got to defend right to the line, I think, here, and that is what he's doing. Sawicki to the outside of the Canadian driver. And for now, Jackson holds on comfortably. Sawicki, can he get a better run? And Jackson almost lost it. And he has got the inside, maybe for turn 1 or 2, whatever it is, but through the kink now. Sawicki, can he go down the inside? Not quite. Jackson's going to have the better line, and he should be able to pull away now, but he is now 5.5 seconds off the 2 leaders.
Yeah, great save there by Chris. He finally made the pass, but yeah, he lost a little bit of time. So not long left. I think just 5 laps to go. So the battle for the win is now between Klusterman and Foggy.
Yeah, seemingly. And currently, Klusman has got a little bit of a gap. It occasionally goes up and it occasionally goes down. I've seen it as low as about 3 tenths. However, a few corners ago, it was only 8 tenths. It was up to 8 tenths, but a little bit of a poor exit from Klusman there. And yeah, this is a real test of Tony Klusman, isn't it, Marco? This really difficult circuit with a driver who looks as though he's a little bit faster just behind. And I think these two are going to be, we're going to see this situation quite a bit throughout the season.
Yeah, and you know that just one little mistake can cost you the lead, basically, because if you miss your braking point just by a few meters, especially the final chicane, you are going to have to cut the final chicane and get the slowdown, which will give the position away 100%. So you have to be so precise, so calm, and it's not easy to do that with a very good driver as Nicole Foggy in your rear view mirrors.
Yeah, but at the end of that lap, did manage to pull away. Klusman is now about a second clear, which is as big as the gap has been. On that last lap, he pulled away by over half a second. And Foggy, all of a sudden, struggling to keep the pressure on. There you can see Klusman really pushing out there. And it is a characteristic, I think, of Klusman that he can maybe take a little bit out of the tyres. We've seen him struggle a little bit in the endurance races, haven't we, Marco? And maybe over a long period of time with those tyres overheating them, maybe that's the one weakness of Klusman if he does have one.
Yeah, it's going to be also interesting in race 3 because I don't think that these guys will take tires for their stop when we do the next race. So you know, this track is notorious for eating up tires. So it will be very, very interesting to see how will they manage. So of course, if you have to just do a splash, you don't have the time basically to change tires. will lose a lot of time, and you have a very little return in getting those fresh tires on. So, of course, I'm pretty sure Klusterman, Foggy, Jackson and company will start from the back in race 3, so they will have to manage the traffic and manage their tire.
Yeah, good little battle going on down there. JP Boosterland and Gary Croft very close to one another. Croft, closing in on that last lap, was quarter of a second faster. Boosterland not too far behind Woodward, who's had an awesome drive. He started and round, so goes Gary Croft. So was pushing quite hard, and he's not going to lose any positions. Big gaps out there. 9 seconds was the gap to Clyde Whiting. It's going to be quite a bit less than that now, about 3 seconds. Michael Frost, I think, has had to get a tow back to the pit, seemingly. Croft back down into 10th. Not a bit of a mistake from there. And here was Frost, and he just pulls to the side and I think just hits escape and back to the pits he goes. .1 seconds between the two leaders out there. Klusterman holding on against Foggy. Can he remain error-free to the end of this event? He's only got a couple more laps to go. Lap 10 of 12. Looking strong at the moment, and with the difficulty of overtaking, it's going to be really difficult for Foggy to force the move. It's surely got to be a mistake, I think, from Klusterman at this point.
Yeah, I'm seeing the lap times, and Chris Jackson is lapping much faster than these guys in front, but of course 3.5 seconds from Nicole Foggy, so Chris Jackson definitely had the pace, but he lost a lot of time behind Sowicki. He was rightfully defending his position, and that in a short race like this can be the difference between winning and having to be happy with P3 basically. So too bad for Chris. I would have loved to see a battle between these three guys in front, but we only have I think 3 laps to go, so no time for car number 11 to catch up back to the lead, unless mistake.
Yeah, well, we wouldn't rule that one out. Jackson, another 2 tenths off Foggy. Foggy was actually 2 tenths quicker than Klusterman on that last lap, but right now it's not really making enough of an impact into the lead. Not too many battles going on out there. Sorry, under pressure a bit from Lane O'Connor. O'Connor making his way back through the field, and on that last lap, O'Connor was significantly faster, so I think that's going to be a move very soon between the 15th position between those two. Apart from that, pretty much 2 seconds between all the drivers out there. Here is O'Connor, and you can see from Sori's car, got quite a bit of damage, and that will explain why he's maybe struggling a little bit out there, and I think Lane O'Connor will quite happily go through, but looking strong, I think, for Fielder and Woodster and Sori. Looks as though with this full reverse grid marker, it looks as though they're going to be the front runners at the start of the next race.
Yeah, it certainly looks like so, and it's going to be a very interesting third race. Basically, we only have 4 guys that are not eligible for the reverse, so it's going to be pretty hefty number of cars, as we see Lane O'Connor sliding sideways. JP Boostland now on camera, getting into the hairpin. White flag for the leader. It's the final lap of the race, the second of 3 races tonight we have here at Montreal.
Yeah, it hasn't been quite as chaotic as the first race, but we still had plenty of action out there. Nicole Foggy once again losing the lead due to a slowdown at that final chicane. He's potentially lost 2 race victories today from it, but Tony Klusterman, he's certainly established himself as maybe one of the front, or maybe the favourite. I don't think you can really call a favourite for the championship right now, but he's been so unlucky, hasn't he, Tony? You know, season 2 and season 3 very much, season 3 and season 4 very much disrupted by an injury, an ankle injury, and if he can stay clear this season, Marco, you'd be a brave man to put the championship past him.
Yeah, I'm expecting a lot from him this season, and he's showing he has got the pace, and is marching towards race 2 victory tonight. Only one corner left. Michael Foggy made a little mistake, now he's 2.3 seconds behind.
Yeah, no challenge from Foggy. Just one more chicane to go for Tony Klisterman. And he will see the checker flag once again. Tony Klisterman takes home the race 2 of the media day of the Euro V8 Supercar Series. And Nicole Foggy comes home in second. Chris Jackson rounding out a very deserved podium. And here is a little bit of a battle. Galit under pressure from Ruiz, who's had a really frustrating race out there. Really quick as Will Ruiz been. Could have won the first race perhaps. Can he force the move against Bengali in these final few corners? Got to go super defensive surely as Galit. But he's leaving it himself open a little bit. Can Ruiz dive down the inside? Now there's the defense. You've got to get an awesome run here as Ruiz. A little bit of a tighter line from Galit. But I don't think it's going to be enough, or will it? It's going to be side by side across the line. We're going to have to look at the timing boards here to see who's going to take this one. But I think Ruiz has just about got it by a tenth of a second. Awesome job from him. And yeah, comes home in 11th position.
So Erwan Wustra lost a lap in the final lap, I think. So starting from pole should be David Fielder for race 2 and Dominic Soare for in the second position. They still have to cross the finish line, these guys, but they are a little bit spread out. So I don't expect any position change.
Yeah, and they will cross the line seemingly. And yeah, they will really fancy their chances in that second race. We're seeing quite a bit of a divide between kind of the top 6 or so and then the rest of the field. But I think it's going to be an epic battle in race 3. In race 2, Tony Klisterman takes home the race victory. Nicole Foggy ends up in second position. From 4th on the grid, Chris Jackson from 9th on the grid ends up in 3rd, although did have extremely strong pace once he passed Dominic Sawicki, who finishes in 4th. Richard Warming, race 1 winner, comes home in 5th. And it's Samuel Boozing, good job on him, from 10th to 6th. Anthony Woodward in 7th, and it's JP Boozeland, the pole sitter. Guy Croft finishes in 9th, with Clyde Whiting in 10th from 19th on the grid. Raul Ruiz started in 3rd, ends up in 11th. He was involved in a collision very, very early on. Ben Galit finishes in 12th from 22nd on the grid, and then it's Bill Switzer, Lane O'Connor, Marciej Kuziak, Dominique Sori, David Fielder, Erwan Wustra, 1 lap down. Michael Frost comes home in 19th. Jose Borges in 20th. It's Michael Muller and Michael Abdoka, who retired due to connection issues. So Marco, is it 1 lap down then, or is it have to be the on the lead lap?
I think you have to be on the lead lap to be eligible for the grid in this series.
Okay.
So should be I think David Fielder, who starts from P1.
Yeah, and that should be certainly one to watch. Will be an awesome final race to this media day evening. And yeah, we will see you then in about 20 minutes time.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Because here comes Holgate. He has the outside line through the final corner for the final time. Once again, photo finish here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Will it be Tim Holgate? It's going to be Christopher DeMary at the line.
Welcome back to the media day of the KSW Euro V8 Supercar Series, race 3 of the evening coming up for you. I'm Sam Fitzpatrick, alongside me is Marco Barbier and Sam Kumo, and we've witnessed two super exciting races so far, and this should be no different. A full reverse should really challenge every driver out there. And the drivers are just about to start to grid up, and yeah, we can take you through your grid, and it is David Fielder on pole position ahead of Dominic Sori in second, Maciej Kuziak in third, Lane O'Connor starts in fourth with Bill Switzer fifth, and it's Ben Gielitz in sixth, Val Ruiz in seventh, Clyde Whiting eighth, Guy Croft ninth, JP Boozeland starts in 10th, and it's Ashley Woodward, Samuel Buzen, Richard Warminger, race 1 winner, Dominic Sawicki in 14th, Chris Jackson in 15th, Nicole Foggy 16th, Tony Klusman race 2 winner in 17th, Michael Frost in 18th, and yeah, that rounds out the field for us. And Marco, we've seen some good driving, some not so good driving out there. How do you think this one's going to play out?
Well, this one is interesting because the longer race length, 24 laps, and the mandatory stop. So the guys who start from the back will have the chance to close the gap to the leaders, but they have to make a lot of passes, and they have to make a lot of passes. When you make a lot of passes, of course, you burn your tires a little bit more. So it's going to be interesting for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And away we go. Fielder gets away well. Sorry, no, he's already dropped down a couple of positions. Sorry, into the lead. Fielder swamped going into turn 1. He's already lost it. What an awful start for David Fielder. Gutted for him. Lucky to get on the pole position. We've got a couple more cars around. Tony Klusman involved. Anthony Woodward as well. He's had a couple of good finishes already. He's down there. And yeah, that's already Klusman potentially out of it. And Chris Jackson as well. So a terrible start for Never Quit Racing. Chris Jackson, who's been so unlucky so far today, taken out in the first race. That meant he started low down in the second race, and he's had another spin in the third race. And Kuziak and Boozeland up 5 positions. He is usually excellent at these big reverse races, and he's had a good start up into P4 from 10th on the grid. It's a battle between 3 drivers just behind as well, side by side under the bridges. They're going to be contact. Yes, there is. Boozeland round. Oh dear, the commentators have been absolutely horrendous today. Boozeland has to wait for the traffic to come around, and he's going to lose a lot of time there. What a start, Marco.
Yeah, lot of chaos as the other cars get here in the hairpin zone with Sawicki. The focus of our cameras trying to sort themselves out. There's a huge spin there and contact once again. That was number 85. It was Kuziak, and his race is likely over, even though he's a fast repair, but going to go probably a lap down. Let's see the replay now.
Oh wow, lost it by himself, didn't he? Got on the grass a little bit and lost the traction. So Story leads after 1 lap, and O'Connor's had an issue. I think he's got to slow down. Oh dear. These XVR drivers, they cannot stop getting the slowdowns at that final chicane, and it's costing them podiums and perhaps race victories. Already Nicole Foggy's lost a couple of potential race victories. Did, to be fair, give it to an XVR driver, Richard Warmingham, in the first race, but O'Connor from second, he's dropped down to 7th now, and from looking like a really strong contender for the race victory, those chances seem to be over already. Nicole Foggy right behind him now, and I doubt O'Connor's going to make this one too difficult for his teammate.
Yeah, we see what happens here, the chicane. If he's going to give room on the inside or maybe at the hairpin, let's see. No pass here at the moment. And
so Gielitz just lost a couple of positions, and is that a slowdown as well? Could be. Although apparently he has got 2 off track, so maybe that is a slowdown. Still going on behind, and yeah, brilliant train of cars this. Out in the lead, Sori and Switzer are some 8 seconds clear of P3. Sawicki's up 11 positions, haven't talked too much about him, and still serving that slowdown is Ben Gielitz, is he? And yeah, he's lost out there. Foggy closing. and still really slow as Gila. This is really unfortunate for him, having a good run in the top 3, and we could have a little bit of contact down at the chicane, but fortunately not. The iRacing driver sorted himself out.
Foggy still behind O'Connor, so no team orders at the moment. And of
There he
course.
goes. Oh wow, big car up in the background. Who was that? Oh, that's a massive
delight.
accident. But Ben Gila, I just saw that one in the background. Big old impact there. That was, you know, well, I don't really want to compare it to Massa's crash, but it was somewhat similar. Nah, not really that similar. Oh, that weird one there, Marco. Was that maybe a hardware failure, you think?
Yeah, the car veered to the right abruptly, and he was also very, very late on the brakes, as we see Whiting on screen right now. Clyde Whiting is in P5, Nicole Foggy P6, trying to make up more and more positions, car number 066.
Just looking at the front runners, whereabouts they are. Policeman's up into P9, by the way, and is only 5 seconds behind this battle, so he could get involved later on. Not quite going for the move is Foggy, just looking for other drivers. Chris Jackson's not too far behind, Warmingham as well. So right now I think Foggy is the leader of the fast drivers, probably. Although also we've got Sawicki up in P3 and Ruiz up in P4. So yeah, it's difficult to tell which way this is going to go, because already Foggy is some 7.5 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, and maybe a problem for our leader.
Ah, slow down, surely.
Saw him lose a bunch of time. He had like Klusterman and Jackson are already in, by the way. And yeah, that was a slowdown for the leader. That final chicane goes in trouble all night long, and Bill Switzer says thank you and gets the lead of the race.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Switzer's ever led a race before, but here he is. He's driven pretty smoothly so far, and he's looking strong there, up 4 positions from 5th on the grid, now into the race lead. And of course, yeah, this is a slightly shorter feature race, and Switzer's nearly lost it, and he's going to be under big pressure now from Sori going into the next chicane. Although he should just about have enough momentum to hold him off for now. Although Ruiz and Sawicki really close. I think that's Ruiz going for the move in the background, and he just has to back out of it in the end. It's good defense from Sawicki. But yeah, if you were maybe one of the fast drivers out here, Marco, would you follow what Klinsmann and Jackson have done and pit early just to, you know, get out of the traffic?
Yeah, if I was in traffic, I would definitely do that and have some clean air to run in.
Well, we'll wait and see. Of course, what you do want around here is a nice clean run down into the pit lane. That can really gain you a couple of seconds rather than having to brake, because it's, of course, straight on at the end of this straight into the pits. Let's see if anyone comes in on this lap. This is a slightly shorter feature race, so the fuel shouldn't be an issue. That's why we've seen so much flexibility in the strategy with a couple of drivers already pitted.
Is that a slow down for Sawicki?
So Ruiz does move up into P3, and he's looking strong now, isn't he? He was strong in race 1, and Foggy has had an issue actually. He's down to P8.
Yeah, they're trying to make those positions back as we focus on him for the moment. And one thing that is also interesting, as Foggy tries to complete the pass, and he does, is that if you get a slowdown on the final corner of the final lap, you have to clear it, or you get 1 lap penalty at the end of the race. And I saw that in the BSRTC Pro Series here a couple of weeks ago. So it's maybe, you know, in the heat of the battle you try to run to the finish line regardless of the slowdown. You could end up losing a lot of position. Of course, today we're not running for points, but it could be an issue maybe come back in later season here in an official race.
Yeah, it could definitely be an issue for these drivers, but can't count on your loss. Of course, there was Nigel Mansell back in, oh dear, I'm going to get the year wrong now, 1990, I think. He of course stalled on basically on a parade lap, the final lap of the race, and Dave Nelson Piquet getting his last ever F1 victory. And you do not want to do that around here with the equivalent of a slowdown. and Ruiz has lost out again. Oh, Switzer's lost out now. Switzer
He's
is he into
stuck
the pits?
there. Yeah,
Oh no!
he's beached at the final chicane.
So the race leader. In fact, he'd already lost the lead, had he? Or yeah, but oh, that's a weird one, isn't it, Marco? Do you have any idea what happened there?
Wheels on the grass, that's for sure, but it's a very, very odd mistake for a driver. I do that all the time. That's another story. So, Suarez, Sawicki and Ruiz, the top three. Clyde Whiting is at a nice clean run, is in P4. Chris Jackson, fastest lap of the race right now, is in P10 and looking to gain some ground.
Yeah, he could be really dangerous, couldn't he? If, as I just going slow, there was Boozan, but could be really threatening. Could Tony and Chris later on with that major undercut, and you know, Foggy's going to have to really look in his mirrors if he can. Surely it's a no-brainer. If he can get to the end of the race on fuel from now, why wouldn't you pit, you know?
Also, Jackson is the leader of the guys that have already pitted, and we see the fact that he has such as 15 seconds from the car in front, and he's able to get these fast laps even with the extra fuel on.
Alright, so this is how, yeah, this is how Sorry lost the lead to Sawicki. So sorry that we missed out with there's been a couple of lead changes, just absolute mania out there currently. And Foggy's really close to Whiting, I think, going down to turn one. Whiting's hold on to that one so long, and I think he is going to carry on holding it onto it. Foggy just cannot force the move, and of course Nico Foggy's inexperienced a bit in this series, isn't he, Marco? But down the inside he goes. This time I think he's going to make the move, surely. You want the inside line at this corner though. Whiting could maybe muscle it round the outside. He isn't going to, but I was about to say a crucial skill that Foggy's got to learn in this series, Marco, is that he's got to move through the traffic very well, and maybe showing in this race that he's not 100% confident with it, but that was a very good move down into turn 3.
Yeah, and also this is one of the most difficult track where you can get passes, so surely it's going to be a nice experience for him. All good for the rest of the season, of course. Ruiz is really pressing hard on Sorry there.
Yeah, again, Ruiz, I think, got a slowdown when was in the lead in the first race. I think that was on lap 2 after making an extraordinary start, and had a bit of a frustrating second race, but he's right on the tail of Sorry now, and he goes to the outside. He's got to be really brave on the brakes coming down here, because he's not going to be fully ahead, or is he? No, a little bit of lift off there from Sorry. He doesn't want to get involved in this one, and I don't really blame him, Marco, after all the incidents that we've seen today.
Yeah, very, very strange move, but Sorry probably wants to finish the race instead of like crashing this early. We still have to. I'm still not optimistic about these guys. Maybe not so wiki, but these other guys. They think they should go in and pit, because those guys behind them are really gaining a lot lap. I said that Chris Jackson had 15 seconds from the leader a couple of laps ago. He's got 10 seconds right now, so he is gaining a lot, and with him, of course, Klusterman, Woodward, and the rest of the guys that already went into the box. And of course, you can get a fast repair in this series, so if they had some contact in the beginning of the race, now their cars are 100% good to go, so they have no damage and they can push as hard as they like.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why kind of the two Never Quit Racing drivers pitted so early. Here's Bouzan and O'Connor. Down the inside goes Bouzan, and I think that was an overtake, was it? Yes, it was. So Bouzan moves ahead of O'Connor, but can O'Connor come back now? Going into the hairpin, he does a little bit of a dummy there. Smart little move from O'Connor, but he can't force it through, and he just has to sit behind at the moment. It hasn't been a great day for Lane O'Connor after making big strides in Season 3, you have to say, of iRacing generally. Managed to really improve on his performances, but not enjoying it too much out there currently. But Foggy now only about 3 seconds off the lead. He's hunting the top two down, and now he's going to be into the second position, past Ruiz, I think. He's got the much preferable line, and through he goes. And it looks as though it's only the Never Quit Racing drivers, I think, who can deny Foggy at this point, Marco.
Yeah, Foggy is going very, very smoothly through the field after start of the race. 37.1 in this lap, 36.5 the previous lap for Jackson, also the fastest lap of the race. Let's see how he's going to perform in this lap. Of course, again, I made a mistake before. Chris Jackson is 10 seconds from the car in front, not 10 seconds from the lead. He's 30 seconds from the lead, so he's still gaining from these guys at the top. Maybe the only one that on pure pace can afford to pit late is Foggy.
Yeah, purple lap time that time out from Jackson, and this clear air is really working well for me. He will be with the drivers ahead about 4 laps time. He's currently lapping about 3 seconds up faster, so maybe even less than that, maybe only 3 laps time. He'll be right with the drivers ahead, so he needs to hope that those drivers pit very, very soon, which, well, they might stay out for quite a long while. I think we expect kind of lap 20 these drivers can go, so Jackson may well have to make a few overtakes to help his strategy out. But he's driving very well currently. Nice battle between Whiting, Buzan and O'Connor currently. And yeah, all very close down here. And a slowdown now for O'Connor. Well, these XVR drivers, they really need to sort this out.
Yeah, good for them that this track is not on the series schedule, because they've had problems all night long. They were not the only one, but they were certainly the team that had the most slowdowns. As we see, David Fielder get a toe in the pits, and he's in the wall.
Well, that rounds off a not so good day for Lane O'Connor. Could have even got worse there. A good little good 180 there. Should get back into the pits, and his car should be okay.
Now, Nicole Foggy is lapping quite faster than Dominic Sawicki. 1.5 seconds the gap between position 1 and position 2. Matter of fact, Foggy has had his fastest lap of the race on lap 9. So good, looking good, and trying to maybe close the gap to the leader, pass the leader, do some fast laps in clean air, and then go in the pits.
Yeah, that'll be the plan. How hard do you think Dominic Sawicki will race this one? Because Sawicki's been really strong so far today. I think he's got 2 top 4 finishes so far. So he's been competitive, so he shouldn't exactly be intimidated by Foggy whatsoever.
Yeah, but the lap time difference is big. Of course, we know that when guys then come together, this tends to be eliminated because it's so difficult to pass here. And we'll see how will Nicole Foggy go about this business, because if he cannot pass Dominic Sawicki quickly and effectively in, say, 1-2 laps, I think he has to go in the pits straight away.
What, to fend off Jackson?
Yeah. Jackson that now is getting into some traffic, by the way. Got Lane O'Connor in front of him.
Yeah, and if O'Connor's smart here, he'll put up a little bit of defense just to help out his teammate ever so slightly. It's not against the rules, of course, but he is struggling quite a bit out there, and I still know why O'Connor didn't exactly hit on the last lap, because I think he can get to the end of the race if he pitted right now, but still holding up Jackson. This is really helping out his teammate right now. And can he find any way through Jackson? He's got quite a bit more power, quite a bit more pace, quite a bit more grip, and he very nearly runs into the back of his rival. Now got to absolutely nail the exit, but he still can't force the move through, and there he goes.
Scrape the wall there, and this gives Jackson the opportunity he was looking for to make the pass.
Yeah, of course, next up will be Tony Klusman. Lead is really close, like Sawicki only 4/10 clear of Nicole Foggy now. They're way clear of the drivers behind, and Foggy's, I think, had an issue. No, Sawicki's into the pit, sorry, so that's just what Foggy needed, wasn't it? And yeah, that's a bit of clear air for him now. Foggy needs to pump in some really strong laps now to fend himself off from Jackson.
Another thing we haven't talked about, because we had no pit stops in the previous races, is that it's really easy to get a speeding penalty here, because as you see, it's a straight line to the pits from the very long backstretch that we have here. So you have to be very careful. Again, these cars don't have the best brakes in the world, and also they weight a lot, as O'Connor gets in the pits as well. So it could be an issue. Let's see. Hopefully no one gets a speeding penalty.
Ooh, was that a bit speeding penalty for O'Connor, you think? Because he suddenly accelerated.
And now he's back on.
Oh, he's given up on it, hasn't he?
Yeah, oh man, that was
I'm
a terrible
penalty anyway.
Terrible course on my part.
I think that's 4 or 5 today. Of course, you've been worse, Marco. You can have full credit.
Yeah, no, I take full blame for that.
Yeah. Yeah, still waiting, driving really well. Hopefully not another curse coming. Nope, for now. And he is under pressure from Buzan. But Whiting really has upped his game, I think, in the second half of last season and at the start of this season. Of course, 10 rounds coming up for you, and the next round next week at Silverstone will be a sprint and a feature race, and I think it's the super sprints at Okayama Short. So that will be an interesting one. We've actually got 3 super sprints this season, 2 endurance races as well, and the finale is a super sprint actually at Brands Hatch. So should be an awesome season. Concludes in December, and yeah, really looking forward to this one. Clyde Whiting into the pits from 4th position, I think, and yeah, he will. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out in comparison to Chris Jackson, won't it? Because Sawicki, oh, actually, that's quite interesting. Sawicki is a long way behind Jackson, so that would imply that Foggy, whatever he does now, he's going to pit and come up behind Jackson, isn't he?
Yeah, but Sawicki had a very long stop, 22 seconds, whilst Jackson and Klusterman only had a 7-second stop. So either he took tires or he got a penalty. And also Wormingham and Lane O'Connor had a very long stop in the 20s. Maybe in the heat of the battle you forget to uncheck the tires.
Yeah, maybe. I'm just thinking maybe the Never Quit Racing drivers couldn't get to the end of the race, and Klusterman's going to do well to get to the end of the race because that was very nearly into the wall there, trying to make the move on Bill Switzer. But I'm just thinking maybe they didn't put in a lot of fuel because they know that they couldn't get to the end of the race. So we'll wait and see if... what's Switzer doing? I thought that might have been an intentional wreck, but he kind of avoided it. I'm not going to accuse him of it because, you know, he did get out of it in the end, but that was very unusual.
Yeah, well, he was completely out of sorts, getting into the braking zone, all sorts of sideways. Luckily, we avoided another contact because we've had many contacts this afternoon, this evening here at Montreal. Samuel Buzin is in the pits as well. Let's see his pitting time, because if he too has a pit in the 20s.
He's spun.
Oh my God!
Is anyone else going to come into the pits as well? Just be quiet, Marco, okay?
Too bad for him. Let's see the replay. Let's see what happened. Maybe he clipped the grass again, like other drivers did. No. Just too fast.
I think it was Nakajima who crashed in the pits around here back in 08. Along with a couple of other drivers, of course, who crashed in the pits, but Buzan okay.
12 seconds for him, 7 seconds for Buslen, so I think that is the right, around 10 to 12 seconds should be the right length for a pit stop with no tire.
Yeah, I think so. I think you were right in the first place. Yeah, clearly just either I think tires only take like 8 seconds though. So I think it'd only be like a 16-second stop if it was tires. So I think it must have been a penalty because that's usually like 10-15 seconds, isn't it? So yeah, I think that was the case. Going a little bit slowly is Bill Switzer out there, easing out to Anthony Woodward now. Switzer still has to make a pit stop, unlike Woodward and Whiting and Sawicki, Klusterman, and leading the drivers who have made a pit stop, Chris Jackson, but he is still he's still about 30 seconds off Nicole Foggy and is running slower lap time. So Foggy has to absolutely put the laps of his life together if he's going to come into the pits and stay ahead.
Yeah, and not long to go. We are 10 laps away from the checkered flag. See, so Wiki stay, of course, he already pitted, so bumping hard on the curbs. Good position for him, but he lost a lot of time in that pit stop, 22 seconds. So, and he's a long ways behind even Tony Klusterman and Chris Jackson. He just did his best lap a week, so had to be a little bit mad with himself for that mistake in the pits, because he has the pace to stay with these guys in front. Also, these cars don't have tire warmer, so if you change tires, it takes a couple of laps to get the best out of it. So really is a terrible penalty you inflict yourself if you change tires.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, at this point in the race, really is no point in taking tyres with so few laps remaining. We're getting to the business end of this media day of the Euro V8 Supercar Series. Interesting lines that they take around this circuit. Really can vary it up. Jackson, you saw around the hairpin taking a really early apex. Just that's how you got to drive these cars. And I'd say, Marco, out of the drivers who have impressed me today, I think they've all kind of been more experienced drivers. I wouldn't say there's been anyone particularly new, any complete rookies who are really excited and seemingly can fight the top drivers. Maybe Ruiz is up there, but that seems to be about it. But it just shows the difficulty of these cars and how you kind of have to complete 1 or 2 seasons of this series to really become a proper contender.
This is exactly what happens in real life. Back in the days when they had guest drivers for the Enduros, and I'm talking about like 2011, 2012, when top drivers like Will Power, Fabrizio Giovanardi, and Antonio Liuzzi, and even better drivers than Liuzzi, came in for that one race at the Gold Coast at Surfers Paradise. You saw the sheer pace difference between those drivers and the series regulars. Of course, there were a lot of mistakes by these drivers, so you really need to get used to this car, because it's, I think, the most unique car in the entire iRacing service. You really need to get that experience under your belt before you are somewhat competitive at the upper end of the field here. I mean, Antonio Liuzzi was a bad example for a good driver. I'm sorry about that.
Nah, Liuzzi was decent, wasn't he?
Well, he had an amazing flip
like
at the
Scott
start.
Speed.
Yeah, there was no Scott Speed, I think. You had, I think, Tony Canan, talking about top tier drivers that were coming on. Sebastian Bourdais, he was the best of the international drivers that came in those years. Lap 16, 17 for the leaders, top 3 yet to stop. Foggy, Ruiz, Suarez, all the other drivers have done their mandatory stop. Focus Anthony Woodward right now in P8, trying to make a move on Whiting.
Yeah, he was trying to...
Warming, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think Warming got passed on the last lap. I think he got an invalidated lap, which to me seemed like he got a slowdown at the chicane. That was where the overtake kind of took place. So it's difficult. So he's got the better pace, and Buzan just behind has just got Busalan. Oh dear, that's going to be confusing for the season, isn't it? Buzan and Busalan. Oh dear. And yeah, that was, and they're going to be racing one, I don't think, for the most of the season. But he managed to get past, I think, going down into turn 3. And up into P10, Busalan drops down to 11th. And after a decent start, I think, for Busalan in this race, getting some 5 positions, moving up into the top 5, I think he did. And Ruiz is in now. So Ruiz is in, and we expect him. He could be close to, and Story's in as well. Ruiz should be ahead of Sawicki, but behind Klosterman. Would you agree with that, Marco?
Yeah, let's see, because Ruiz is a new driver to the series. I think there's a crash that
Oh.
was Gary Croft, several laps down. Let's see if he remembers to uncheck the tire. Yeah, no. Longish stop, 10 seconds, 11, 12. No, he keeps going on. 14.2.
So not shockingly long. But we didn't see him go on the jacks, did he? Although one driver who was on the jacks was Sori, so he certainly took tyres. Now maybe they both did take tyres. Ruiz behind Sawicki still. So if it weren't for that slow pit stop, Ruiz would have been ahead. But instead, he's come out in P5 ahead of Clyde Whiting though. So Whiting is a net 6th then. So that's good for Whiting. That's a little bit higher than I thought he would be. But yeah, he is still behind Ruiz. But could be a good battle for that P4. Ruiz trying to chase down Sawicki.
Okay, now we have Jackson in 2nd position. Klosterman is in 3rd. Klosterman is not gaining on Jackson. And the big question, will Foggy be able to get out in front of Jackson? They are lapping quite similarly. So it's going to be interesting. Not a lot of laps left, so I think Foggy will get his pit stop as late as possible, I think, in order to maximize this good run of good pace he's having as of this moment.
Yeah, he's driven pretty exceptionally in this race. Plus, could have won races 2 and 3. You know, the slowdowns from the lead really had them under control. Race 1 in particular, where he had his own teammate Richard Warmingham behind him, and yeah, just made the mistake in race 2 when he had control over Tony Klosterman, but made the mistake. And yeah, he cannot afford that out there this time. He lost 2 tenths to Jackson. That's really been as big as the margins have been in terms of lap times between these two drivers. Klosterman will be there as well. We just don't know how long a pit stop will take around here. 28 seconds, or what the pit lane lost time story is. It's an unusual pit entry, unusual pit exit. But yeah, could be really close between these two drivers.
I'm seeing a pit lane total time from cone to cone, basically, of around 40 seconds. The fastest stops were. So, maybe Jackson has got more than a chance of winning this race. Of course, Foggy's pit stop will be very, very short. Just a splash of fuel, basically. But I am expecting Chris Jackson to take the lead from here.
Yeah, I think so. It's been 30 seconds for so long. It's 29 now. That last lap, Foggy did a 36.94. That's a strong lap. Anything in the 36s is strong. Let's see what Jackson and Klosterman can respond with. That's a lot of curve from Jackson. And he's having to absolutely put everything into it. May as well just have a ghost car in front of him, which he's desperately trying to chase. And Jackson lost a little bit of time there, but oh no, in fact actually gained a tenth, so there really is nothing in it. Oh, he's yeah, they're having to push so hard, aren't they, Marco, just to get every tenth possible, because it might not even be that close, but it looks as though it's going to come right down to the wire.
Yeah, and you absolutely don't. You have to be 100% clean. Don't make a mistake, because if you make a mistake, you're ruined. Either if you're Foggy or Jackson. So I'm a bit surprised by how much Jackson is pushing, given that he has a, I think, somewhat safe cushion on Foggy. Of course, my calculation could be completely wrong. I've been wrong in the past many times, but I think he should be good to go after Nicole Foggy's pit stop.
On this lap, Foggy has pulled out some 0.4 of a second. He was he was 0.6 faster in the second sector. Pulled back a little bit in the third sector to Jackson, but once again Foggy stayed out. Nice little battle brewing between Warmingham and Sori, and actually they're very close. They're only 0.3 between those two drivers. Warmingham has been closing in quite handsomely recently, and Whiting's not too far up the road either. but they've got to deal with this traffic first. A little bit of I think that is that guy Croft just ahead, I think.
Yes, he is. Laps down. Or
Oh, I
not.
think we just had spin in the background, did we? Not quite sure, but still just ahead is sorry. Warmium, where would you say Warmium needs to make this move? Has he got to make it going into this chicane, or just hope to get a good exit and get him into turn 1?
I think the two safest spots are first corner and the hairpin. On all the other corners, I would really be scared of making a pass, especially today, with no points on offer and drivers going all out in defending their position.
Oh, this is a great run from Warmium. We've seen a couple of moves pulled off around here. Just the better exit, but he's not quite brave enough to go for it. Warmium, usually such a reserve driver, rarely gets involved in incidents, but when he can turn it on during the sprint races, he can be really competitive. And into the pits come Foggy. So this is judgment time, and we will see what his pit stop time is and whether or not Jackson can overtake him.
It's a deceivingly long pit lane, this one. You have to do a lot of going with the pit limiter. 7 seconds. He's on his way out of the pits. I think my calculations were wrong. Wrong, and more wrong.
It's going to be relatively close, but Foggy, I think, is still ahead. Yes, he is. Jackson is 3 seconds behind, so not quite close enough for Chris Jackson. And surely, with just a couple more laps to go, he's not going to be close enough. In fact, it's more than that. It's 5 seconds. I think he's got a slow down, has Chris Jackson. Is he going slowly? I'm quite sure. Yeah, I think he just lost a little bit of time there to Jackson. So. Yeah, I think he did get a slowdown. He had an invalidated last lap, so that really has cut his chances short. But he gave it a go, didn't he, Marco? But in the end, that incident, which wasn't really his fault on the first corners, has really cost him.
Yeah. Foggy looks good money for his value. 7 seconds in front of Chris Jackson now, and Klusterman safely in P3. There's a nice battle brewing, I think, for P4 between Sowicki and Ruiz, and the other battle is Soiree in Birmingham. Apart from that, we're seeing some pretty clean driving. From now until the end of the race, all these guys are thinking about is bringing the cars back home, get them shipped to Silverstone for next week. I want to remind you that you have there's no break between this and the first round, and then we will keep you company every fortnight Saturday for the regulars.
Here comes Warmingham again. Fancies his chances against Sori. Can't get it done at the hairpin. Sori a little bit sideways on through the corner there at the hairpin. It's just so difficult to force the move down here into the chicane. You really got to have a lot of overspeed. Unless you've got DRS like the F1 drivers, it's very difficult to achieve. And Warmingham, if anything, struggling to gain at all. He will look to the inside. He hasn't quite got the bravery on the brakes. And yeah, just has to sit in behind. Still, we've got a little bit of side-by-side here. Woodward under pressure, and he's nearly gone to the wall, and he is going to lose a position now to Samuel Buzin. There goes Buzin up into P9. And he made that pretty simple, and he's made a gap very simple as well, as Anthony Woodward nearly spinning the car around. And Warmingham's got past Sori, side by side going into turn 3. Warmingham came so close last time. This time he can pull it off, and that was a very well executed move from Richard Warmingham. Took him a couple of laps, didn't it? But really good experience driving.
Great move. I don't think he will be able to hunt down Clyde Whiting in P6. That's what battling does for you. You lose a lot of time around here. That everywhere, but especially around here. And Whiting has a lot of clean track ahead, so he can push hard in these final 2 laps of the race. Foggy is going to take the white flag, I think.
Yeah, he's on his final lap. Been denied a couple of times as Nicole Foggy so too is Chris Jackson. Gotta say he's been super unlucky, but yeah, just a little bit of a word for Jackson. Really impressive today at the enduro event. He was right with Klosterman, wasn't he, on pace? And despite last season not claiming a race victory, should have done at Oran Park and a couple of other events as well. He's really looking like the real deal, is Chris Jackson. And we heard some positive words from Tony Klosterman as well at the end of that endurance event, saying how he's really improved as a driver, and I think he's right in the hunt for the potential championship.
Yes, absolutely. I think his strategy was dictated by that crash in the first corner. Without that, he would have been, I think, even closer and closer to Foggy. But yeah, it is like what it is. 7 seconds, the gap 8 seconds, so Foggy got away with his late pit stop, which was a good strategy in the end, and is now marching toward a well-deserved win after, like you said, having some problems in the first 2 races of the evening.
Yeah, Nicole Foggy somehow hasn't won a race in this series before. Was super strong at the end of last season, and we know during season 5 he's going to be just as strong. He's only got this one last chicane to go. It's been so troublesome for him today, but he hasn't got much longer to go. Nicole Foggy is going to take the final race of the evening. Brilliant drive from Foggy. Had to rise through the field from near the back of the grid, and he comes home to take that race victory. Chris Jackson, valiant effort from him in second, and his teammate Tony Klosterman round out the podium with Raul Ruiz and Dominic Sawicki. Well, it's pretty close between Ruiz and Sawicki. Ruiz has to make sure they doesn't mess up this final chicane, and I think he's okay. Yeah, hasn't picked up a slowdown, and he will hang on to that P4 across the line. Brilliant day of racing, Mark. That first race was absolute carnage. Second and third races were a little bit better. I think the drivers kind of learnt from their mistakes, but it just we knew that this was going to be an awesome season, and it's just teed it up, hasn't it?
Yeah, everybody was, I think, as happy as me in the first race to get back on track, so they let their emotions run out on the track. Basically, they were they have been idling for several weeks, even a little bit more than a month for most of them. So yeah, the racing was good in race 2 and 3 as well. Little bit less crashes, but saw some good overtaking and interesting strategy calls in race 3. Made for a very, very eventful evening, and of course now I have no idea about what's going to happen next week, because we had 3 different winners, drivers getting up and down the field, mistakes, so I really can't wait for Silverstone.
Yeah, we had a couple of drivers missing, of course. Johnny Brandon with his bad back, and Michael Abdolka had a lot of bad luck in the first couple of races. Wasn't even happy to do the third race in the end. Can't blame him really. And yeah, he'll be back. Of course, Michele Ricci, your friends, will be hopefully around for Silverstone as well. So really don't know who's going to come out on top there, but yeah, that will be with you in 1 week's time. But now Nicole Foggy takes race 3 of the evening from 16th on the grid. What a drive to the race victory. Chris Jackson is 15th to 2nd. That doesn't tell half the story. After a spin at turn 1, he ends up in 2nd. But Tony Klosterman, good drive from him in 3rd. Raul Ruiz was some 30 seconds off the lead in the end. 4th place for him, but showing really strong pace out there. Dominic Sawicki, that's 3 top 5s, I think. So Sawicki really showing he could be maybe a dark horse for a couple of victories next season. Clyde Whiting, really good drive from him to safety. Stayed out of trouble really throughout the day. Richard Warmingham comes home in 7th. Good race victory for him earlier on as well. Dominic Sori ends up in 8th. Good drive from him. Samuel Booz and his teammate in 9th. Anthony Woodward finishes in 10th with JP Buseland in 11th. Then it's Bill Switzer, Gary Croft, both a lap down in 12th and 13th. Lane O'Connor in 14th, and then David Fielder 16 laps down in 15th. Maciej Kuzak in 16th. Ben Gielitz in 17th. Michael Frost in 18th. And yeah, that rounds out the field. Great day of racing out there. And hopefully we can get a couple of interviews, and I think we are. And Who do you think we should get, Marco?
Well, I think we can go with Chris and ask him about strategy in this race and a lot of stuff.
Yep, and yeah, Chris Jackson. Chris, your mic is muted. But how was it out there for you today across that third race? Really unlucky at the race start. Just take us through that.
A little bit of a technical issue with Chris's microphone, I think.
Apparently he has no permissions, and can we control that? I've undone it, I think. Yay, we got it. Okay. So yeah, Chris, I think you heard my question. Yeah, race 3, turn 1. What was it like? Oh, we've lost him again. Oh, this is terrible. Well, this is why we have the media day, to test out some stuff.
Hello, Chris.
You're saying that you can speak, or we haven't got a mute button, but oh, it's a bit frustrating. Of course, we don't usually use this this Discord channel, so this would explain why. Sam, could we maybe pop over to the Apex one instead and try out that? Yeah. Okay.
So we are trying to sort out these issues, and we should have Chris Jackson, I think, now.
Awesome, Chris.
Hi there, can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh yes.
Awesome. And yeah, for the third time, what was that turn 1 in race 3 like? It was must have been quite frustrating for you because you had terrific pace up there, but every race kind of just went a little bit wrong in the end.
Yeah, it was that time I said, you know what, I'm not going to take any risks. It's a long race, just put in the laps. I thought I was being really careful. Guy got out of shape, thought I went wide enough, but ended up coming back, taking my back end, and having to come back from the back and be basically 2 slowdowns off foggy. I was very pleased with that. So.
Yeah, it was a really good recovery. And yeah, how was Montreal out there? It was a chaotic first race, and I think you were involved in a collision with Michael. Yeah, but do you recall that one at all? What was your perspective of that?
Yeah, it's the start of the race. I know tires are a bit off. I went in, wasn't too conservative, but I saw Michael in the side mirror coming in, and I thought, you know what, I don't know if he's going to make this apex, and I was already in that spot, and both collided, so it's unfortunate.
Yeah, absolutely, but fortunately didn't count towards any points. But you know, going into this season, we saw you really impress in the Enduro event a couple of weeks back. You must be feeling pretty confident out there, at least to get the race victory, because you fully deserve it. You've only had one, as you've said in the past, but going into Silverstone, that's got to be your main aim.
I'm definitely going to put some practice there. I'm very happy. I think I've been doubting myself in terms of my pace, but I think today validates that I can run with the top guys. To hold Tony off that many laps, very happy. I know he had a few slowdowns, I had a few slowdowns, so I think our laps are almost identical. So to do that, I'm very pleased. So hopefully I can carry that on into Silverstone in the season.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, yeah, going to be a long old season, 10 weeks. What do you think is going to be like the crucial element? Do you think it just comes down to pace, do you think, which the fastest driver will win, or do you think it'll take other kind of skills to ensure that title?
I'll make a prediction right now. The last 2 winners, Taljancic and Evdaka, have both also won the cleanest driver award. So I think bonus points are going to play into huge this season. So just getting clean results, good results each time. There's enough fast drivers that I think one bad result can move you down a little bit. So it'll be definitely interesting.
Yeah, will be fascinating. And yeah, before we let you go, any shout outs you'd like to give?
Simability, Tony Klusterman, our team, welcoming the UK edition. They've done a great job. I think we had 4 cars in the top 10. That's huge. My wife, my family for allowing me to jump on, and you guys for the great broadcast. Cheers.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. And yeah, we'll see you in just a week's time.
It was good. Cheers, guys.
Also have Nick Ulf Nicole Foggy with us. And yeah, well done out there, mate. The first couple of races, the slowdowns kind of cost you, but that third race, nothing was going to get in your way.
Yeah, went pretty good tonight. There was a whole bunch of carnage, I think, in the first 2 races especially, but I managed to, I think I avoided it, got a bit lucky and stuff, but and then the slowdowns as well. Yeah, that's always the worst part about this track. You know, you want to go fast, you've got to go over those curves, especially that last chicane. You got to get it just right, and you're so near the sort of the limit. If you want to go fast, that you can get slowed down and go slow. If you get it wrong, so yeah, but went quite well anyway, so happy with that.
Yeah, it was super marginal, but XVR Racing, you guys look really strong going into this one with 2 wins today. Richard drove an awesome race in race 1, and of course you got Johnny as well with you, and yourself. You're going to be a tough team to beat, I think.
Well, we hope so. It'll be good. Johnny's got a wee bit of a sore back just now, so he's just giving it a rest for next week when the season starts. And Rich and Lane did pretty well. Lane got a bit unlucky in the third race, I think, and then a few spins as well. So he just finished his race near the end, I think. But yeah, they were both doing really well as well. So should be good. Season should be pretty good for us, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, going to Silverstone, one that you enjoy, and is it going to be one that you'll just be eyeing up the race victory?
Well, with the V8s, I've never been there before. I imagine it could be quite difficult. Some of the sweeping curve, accelerating through the corners might be quite hard controlling the throttle. But I think it'll be pretty fun in the V8s anyway. Should be some good racing as well. There's always pretty good racing at Silverstone, I think. So yeah, looking forward to that.
Yeah, we certainly hope so. And yeah, before we let you go, anyone you'd like to thank?
Yeah, just XVR really. Looking forward to see Johnny next week. Get some practice on the go as well. And well done to Rich and Lane tonight. They're gonna do well in the season. And yeah, that's it.
Yep. Thanks, Nicole. And yeah, we'll see you in 1 week's time. Also, I think will you be around tomorrow for the? You don't usually do the BSR, but we'll see you on Monday, won't we?
Yeah, you see me on Monday. Yeah. Looking forward to that
cool.
as well.
See you then.
Nice one, dude. Thanks. See you later.
Also have Tony Kloosterman with us. And yeah, Tony, brilliant race 2 victory. And yeah, you managed to pressure Nicole a little bit and benefits from the slowdown. And yeah, you must be pretty happy with that. You were as competitive as ever.
Well, I think the jury's out there. I honestly, I didn't drive very well today, unfortunately, and a lot of mistakes. And it was good to see a big grid. And second race went okay. Third race strategy was good. The crashing and the slowdowns weren't so much. So it's a unforgiving track when it comes to slowdowns.
Yeah, definitely. And I think everyone was kind of falling victim to that. That first race was absolute carnage. Do you think the drivers kind of learnt their lesson after that first race and kind of calmed it down for the second race?
Yeah, I think so. I think that the first race, everybody was trying to do well. I had terrible qualifying. That was my own fault, and just barely got a lap in the last few seconds. So it'll get better. That's why we have these media days, and everybody can get their shake the cobwebs out, so to speak. And next week's official, and I think when it's official, people will be a little smarter.
Yeah, I
myself
think so.
included.
Yeah, well, I hope so. Well, I'm not sure. That base one is pretty entertaining, but yeah, going into this season, of course, you've done the previous 4 seasons, I believe. Are you approaching this season any differently than what you have done in the past, or have you just got the same mentality as you've had in the past?
We've expanded the team. We actually have a full-fledged sim ability Never Quit Racing North American team. Greg Carr will be joining us later in the season. And then we've got a UK team as well. Clyde Whiting, Ant Woodward, and Pete Bingham are running our UK team. And we're going to be spending a lot of time bringing them up to speed. And I think that we've already seen some signs of that. Clyde finished 6th in the longer race there. Ant was 10th. So we're very pleased with that. And if I may, I'd just like to give a shout out to Pete Bingham. His father, Fred, is in the hospital. He's not doing well. And I don't know if you saw the prayers for Fred on the side of our car. We just want to wish him the best. I know he's probably watching. He watches all the races on Apex TV.
Yeah, we did talk about that a little bit earlier on, and yeah, it's great to see that support out there. And yeah, we certainly do wish him the best of luck. And yeah, before we let you go, any more shout outs you'd like to give?
Just the organizing team, obviously KSW Painting for sponsoring the league this year. We're looking forward to having Klaus back with us, and you guys for doing the broadcast. Always wonderful to watch the broadcast afterwards. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Tony. And I think our last interview will be with Dominic Sawicki. And well done, Dominic. That was 3 top 5s, I think, which is not sure if anyone else managed to achieve that. So really good, consistent finishes in the end.
Yeah, I had fantastic weekend. I didn't expect before the races that I will finish in top 5 every single race, speed-wise. But it happened, so I'm really happy. I had like many slowdowns, many troubles, also crash with Tony on the first race, many downs, but the race was really fine, all 3 races, and I'm looking forward to the next round at Silverstone.
Yeah, should be a fantastic race at Silverstone. And yeah, of course, you're relatively inexperienced to this league, but you must just be super happy that you're straight away, fighting with the front runners. It's really impressive.
Yeah, I'm happy. I kind of like this car. I tested like a month ago for the first time, and I really enjoy it. And from month I race with that car, and it's really nice series. And I'm happy that there is like EuroLeague, because most of the races are for Aussie guys and not the European time. So that's a really great job that there is this kind of league.
Yeah, absolutely. And going into the season, will you be? What kind of goals do you have? Do you have a specific kind of championship position, maybe a top 5 in the championship, or maybe just a podium at some point in the early on in the season? What are your kind of aims at this point?
Yeah, podium would be nice, like in any of the races. But top 5, I'll be really happy with top 5 at the end of the season. Many fast drivers are here, not every race here on the Media Day event. So this top 5 will be very difficult to achieve, but that's like a high goal for me.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, before we let you go, any thanks you'd like to give?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for your broadcasting. You're doing a great job.
Thanks, Dominic. And yeah, we'll see you 1 week's time in at Silverstone. So Marco, yeah, of course we've already talked about how good this race has been, or these 3 races today have been, and it's just so difficult to call who's going to be the champion in December, because just so many quick drivers. No one really stands out. I think all the drivers kind of have their vulnerabilities and weaknesses. All of them have their strengths. It's going to be absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I cannot wait for Saturday, so we can begin counting the points. And the fact that this is so unpredictable makes it a can't miss broadcast Saturday night.
Yeah, 1 week's time, Saturday, like Marcus said, 18:15 GMT. So certainly catch us for that one, because tomorrow we have got the iRacing Grand Prix series. We've also got VTech, and we've got BSR Grand Tour, and then the day after that we've got World GT Round 3, I believe. So certainly catch that. We've got plenty of other races coming up in the next week as well. But from me, from Mark, and from Sam, we bid you goodbye, and yeah, we'll see you then.